Center here in the White House, deep beneath the White House. Then the second picture we're going to show you, President 2 days later in the Oval Office, just after he spoke by phone with New York Governor Pataki and Mayor Rudy Giuliani. By now, when this picture was taken, White House aides were passing word that the terror attack was taking an emotional toll on Mr. Bush. The next picture comes from Friday as he was arriving at an Air Force base in New Jersey shortly before going on his tour of Ground Zero in New York City, greeting there Mayor Giuliani. As you can see, he's reaching out to the mayor and then went on to praise him and say he appreciated everything that the mayor had been doing and everything that the people of New York, Governor Pataki there in the picture, everything the people of New York had been going through as well. So now the president is over across town at an Islamic center. We told you about that. And there's another thing on his plate when he returns to the White House. That's the other topic that you've been considering as number one or number two today, the economy. President going to be meeting here with his top economic advisors, talking about possible further economic stimulus in order to keep the country from going into recession during this time. Also talking about a bailout possibly for the airlines, and the White House today not ruling out a further tax cut to make sure the economy gets going. President Bush saying the underpinnings of the economy remain solid and strong, that this downturn today could well have been expected, and that the market, he said, was, in a downward trend for some months even before the terror attack occurred. Rick?
Bob, a couple of things that have come up that I'm wondering if we put them together, what your reaction might be. First of all, we heard a report earlier today that the Chinese had apprehended 5 men who may have come from either Afghanistan or Pakistan and who may have had on them plans to somehow perform some type of terrorist act in the United States. With that said, we learned just moments ago that the World Trade Organization has now decided to accept China in its alliance. Putting these two things together, I can't help but wonder if the U.S. is somehow behind this to try and see if they can reach out to China and other countries they've been, well, on the border with in the past to try and get them to join in to this anti-terrorist coalition.
Well, Rick, I think the timing here may be a little too quick about the WTO and what China announced today. But the fact is that the United States is putting heavy pressure on all countries to turn in whomever they can, to give whatever information they can, and to put it on a more practical level, even though I say the timing may be a little too quick for these sorts of quid pro quos that you're talking about. Surely, one of the things that will complicate the diplomacy in all this is that no matter what country the United States talks to, that country does have a shopping list, a wish list, a diplomatic list, whatever it may be. And I would assume that there are discussions going on. If we do this, could we think that the United States would be more favorably disposed toward doing something for us? I think that goes country by country in this, but I think it's pretty quick to say that deals have been done at this point.
Deals perhaps with Russia. How important would it be from a geopolitical standpoint to try and get Russia on board? And do we know if the president has reached out to Vladimir Putin?
Well, we know that he has spoken with Putin at least twice, and certainly it would be important. But with Russia, as with some of the other countries, there are these sort of vague, and then it goes up by degree, statements of support. The White House saying even today that it's, positively, and it's encouraged by the reaction of most of the countries that it's dealing with. But they are mincing no words, saying the devil will be in the details. A statement of support is one thing, but when it comes to actually having the United States lay out a course of action, take a course of action, try to impose on these countries a set of requirements that lead to help, either financial help, diplomatic help, intelligence help, using military bases and facilities help, or even getting military from other countries to join in any sort of effort. That's where the rubber meets the road, if you'll excuse the cliche on this, Rick. But it's in the details. How far are these countries going to be willing to go to support the United States? That's where it could get a bit diplomatically delicate and dicey.
NBC's Bob Kerr reporting from the White House. Thanks, Bob.